Today on our show is Robyn Willis. She is the executive director for Historic Lebanon. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Rick?
I just woke up today, and that was a good start, and I've continued that. So I'm very happy. I'm a very content person. So
Great.
um, I have a lot of questions for you
Okay.
in my mind. So you've just taken on the executive director position, but before you started out as a chemical engineer, worked for Procter and Gamble, and then you moved to operations and customer relations for another large company.
hmm
And can you explain that transition to me? It just doesn't seem.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How that happened.
So I worked for Procter& and Gamble, as you mentioned, in manufacturing management for 9 years. It was really manufacturing management and logistics. I was on a customer service team for Dollar General for the customer service team that Procter& and Gamble had to serve them. And so I learned a lot about project management. I learned about customer relations, about marketing, consumer market knowledge, all these things that really enabled me to do really anything that I would like to do, I think. And that's the beauty of having an engineering background and having that great experience at P&G. My jobs, if had I stayed with P&G, would have taken me to Cincinnati, Ohio, and our family's here, so we wanted to stay in the area. So I like to say that I retired early at the age of 32 when our kids were born, and I took a few years with them when they were really young. And then my husband started his own business back in 2017. That's
What's he?
Raven Flight Web and Media.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
that's when I became involved. He has been a web developer for 20 years, and I was able to come in and just help with my project management experience and the fact that I love to get involved with the community and to meet people and to understand, their unique needs and how we can make their lives easier and, just help with some of the processes in their business. And so it was great. I was able to go from this really large company to a small town business where we served people that were, just like you and I, but we can help make a huge impact in their lives, saving them time, saving them energy, making, getting the word out about their business. And actually through my involvement with Ravenflight is how I got to know Kim, the previous executive director with Historic Lebanon. And we worked together for many years before she left. So it was great that as I got started here, I had a working knowledge of a little bit about what Historic Lebanon was doing.
Well, full disclosure that we're on the board together, and really enjoyed your energy. You brought a whole new lot of energy, and your organizational skills are off the chain, and
Well,
your
thank you.
leadership skills as well. So it's an exciting time for Historic Lebanon, and you really. Um, you caused a lot of excitement. You brought in a new board members. You've done so many things for what do you see as the future for Historic Lebanon? If you want to educate our guests at all about Historic Lebanon, you could be quite, jump in
Sure.
there and do that.
Sure. Well, I think a lot of people don't fully understand what Historic Lebanon does. We are not the Historic Preservation Commission. We are a nonprofit that is dedicated to preserving, promoting, and focusing on our Main Street district. And that includes a lot of historic buildings, but it includes, some current businesses, and we have museums, we have all kinds of iconic historic places. There's a huge opportunity to help partner with the people that are involved there, whether it be the historic places or the businesses, to help them promote themselves. We do a lot of work on potential grants for business and building owners to improve their spaces. We partner with the city on things like streetscaping, so making the area around the square, like on the square and around the square, making it walkable, making it an enjoyable place to be. We also, do so much with other partner organizations like the chamber, like the CVB, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the city, and we really just want to make our Main Street district the best that it can be. We want to encourage new businesses to come. We want to encourage new consumers to come. We want to encourage the people that have lived here for their whole lives want to keep coming to downtown Lebanon, to the Main Street district. And I think it's going to be great. So Kim was in the position for about 11 years before she left, and she did a great job laying a foundation.
Absolutely.
The National Main Street America approach, which is a 4-pronged approach to community transformation. And we focus on economic vitality, so supporting our businesses that are here in this district. We focus on design. As I said, that's the streetscaping and some of the walkability and signage and things like that. We focus on our organization, and that's our community partners. And then we focus on, I'm forgetting the 4th point, promotion. That's the committee you're on too. And that is where we promote our businesses, promote our events, promote the other events that are happening. And the thing I'm really excited about is we've kicked off committees for each of those four points, is that we've placed each of our board members on a committee where they're interested in the topic. And it's been so awesome to see the energy and enthusiasm that people have brought, the ideas that they have, and just getting involved at a deeper level. I've been on boards before, and when I feel like I can contribute, I look forward to going to the meetings. I look forward to giving back to the community. So I'm just excited to see how much energy the board members have, and looking forward to the next, 5-6 months to see what all we can do the rest of the year with what we've started.
So what are you most excited about now? What do you see your vision for historic Lebanon and Lebanon? What are you excited about right now in particular?
Well, I am so excited about the opportunity to really educate people about the businesses that are in the Main Street district. I don't think people know all the places that are there. Just today, I was working on a short video that I'll be posting on our Historic Lebanon Facebook page in a couple weeks. We have over 21 places to eat and drink in the Main Street district.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and they're all over the board as far as, what kind of food they are. I feel like there truly has to be something for everyone. And so I'm excited to help bring a real focus to promoting those folks that have put so much energy into their businesses. They just want people to come and enjoy what they're offering. So that's one area that I'm really excited about. Also, we've talked a lot about the streetscape project, where we could add additional parking, we could add lighting, we could add beautification items such as, flower pots and, various things to make the area better, trees, plants, and then maybe some kiosks in downtown where you can go and see what businesses are there, get an idea of where you are. But I think just taking it to the next level is what I'm excited about, being able to take some of these things that were already in progress and make them happen.
Well, you're doing that. I mean, you're speaking of energy, you're just a bundle of energy. You've tasked yourself with so many things that I'm going, wow, she's a superwoman here. And
I wish that were true, but thank you.
So speaking for myself, I'm super psyched about you being there. Again, Kim laid the groundwork. She laid the groundwork for a long time. She was the person that made this possible in my mind. She is the person that we can thank for having Historic Lebanon in place. And then there's always a time to get fresh eyes and new energy. And then you are that person. The extraordinary people that actually are on the board. Each one is an interesting human. They're very interesting people.
Yeah.
With diverse backgrounds, and we could spend a week talking to each one of them as well. So you hit on parking. Now, parking is a tender subject.
Yeah.
And so I know there's the project to add parking along East Main Street. Is that right? Where
that's the first proposed area to add some additional parking is along East Main Street.
And that just makes sense the way, there's that extra lane that people just use to pass the people in the other lane. That's all they do. So to expand that almost 2 blocks with parking spaces that are just connected to the main street. That's, I mean, the town square is fabulous. Do you get any traction? Do you know what kind of where that might land, or what we can do to make that happen?
Well, I'm actually meeting with Mayor Bell next week to talk with him about some planning for the entire streetscape plan. When I met with him back when I first started in the role, we talked about getting back together in July and getting a multifunctional team of, city folks from an engineering and a planning perspective, and coming up with a plan really to, of how we're going to approach the streetscaping work, how we can help support, whether it be, with financial support for part of the project or just helping with some of the roadblocks. That's one of the very top things on my priority, is to get together with our city counterparts and see how we can make this happen as quickly as possible.
So you're gonna have to tie into TDOT probably also, right? I mean, that's a major road.
Yep.
Don't they have jurisdiction over that?
I believe they do. So really any of the roads around the square, it's not just the city and ourselves that can go off and do the work. There are a lot of external partners that need to be included, and hopefully we can get all those ducks in a row and make some progress soon.
I'm gonna have to get that list of 21 places. In the back of my mind, I'm going, okay.
You're thinking, who are they? What are the 21 places? I know. I think that's my goal for the rest of the year, is to make a point to go to each one of those. I think I probably already have been to each one of them, but just, frequent them more frequently.
Wonderful food. Food. You can get island food, and you can get, I mean, the coconut. What's the coconut?
The roasted coconut. Mm-hmm.
Roasted coconut. Yes, I love their food. I mean, it goes on and on and on, mm-hmm. And it's exciting that we have that, and that Lebanon is progressing quickly. Mayor Bell was saying that we're the top growing city in the nation. Is that even possible?
I saw an article recently that said Lebanon was the 12th or 13th fastest growing city in the nation.
It's astonishing.
It is, which explains why there's lots of traffic, I guess, at times.
You mentioned Mayor Bell. He seems to be a good person to work with. He's thoughtful. He's obviously brilliant, and he has that progressive spirit that I think has been missing for a while in our town. So, what's it like working with him?
He's great. He and Sarah Haston, the economic development director, are fantastic resources. They're active members of our board, as you know, and we appreciate them and all the folks that are involved in any projects where we cross over. They're always willing to meet with us and to work through things and to figure out how to move things forward. I don't think we could really have a better scenario when it comes to that.
Perfect. So you're on a personal note, if you don't mind asking, you're married. You have two children. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I've been married to my husband, Dave, for 16 years. We've been together for 20 years. We met in a chemical engineering class, actually, at Tech.
No.
And then he changed his major to web design. But we have 2 kids. We have a son who will be 10 in August.
Oh, double digits.
Already at double digits. His name is Lincoln. And then Liliana, we call her Lily, she turns 7 in June. So we're just at fun ages with both of them. They keep us very busy and very entertained.
Yeah. Are you doing travel soccer or travel ball or volleyball or any of that stuff?
No, we're not. They've done a variety of different things over the years. We really wanted to give them an opportunity to try a lot of different things. So they have gone to ninja classes. They have gone to jujitsu. He has played soccer. She's done gymnastics. Link is actually taking guitar right now. He's taking private guitar lessons from Jason Gamble, who is Lady A's lead guitarist.
Dang.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
He's really, really loving that. And he'll be doing that this fall as well. And then I think we're going to have them on the Jimmy Floyd swim team this fall, just because they love to swim and they can learn more about the different strokes. But they're very active. We love to do things outside as a family. So we go hiking, We're actually taking a trip in a couple weeks where we're going to go do some climbing and some rappelling.
Oh, really fun.
Falls. So,
Where are you gonna do that? Where's that at?
well, we'll go to Fall Creek Falls. I don't know exactly which route we'll go on. My husband was an avid rock climber in college, and since we lived in Cookville, there were tons of places around there to do that. We haven't been to Fall Creek Falls quite as many times, so we'll research and figure that out. But the kids are pretty fearless, and he's pretty fearless, and I like to say they're all
You
the
are too, right?
here. So no, I'm not really very fearless. I'm not fearful, but I don't always get out there with them. I
Do
just
you get on rope though? Are you on rope then?
I belay, so I'll be at the bottom.
Okay.
Yep. I
I,
typically, if I
I
can
used to
avoid
do
it, I
some
don't
of
go.
that. So we used to go caving, and there'd be some holes in the ground that are 200 feet deep. So you'd rappel down to the bottom.
Yes.
Super fun, super fun. I bet he does caving as well, right?
Yes, he does. That is definitely something he's done quite a few times is go caving. I went one time with him, and when I saw the crickets that had legs this big, I did not go back again. It
They're
was
pretty harmless, I think. I don't think.
they are, but they just look really creepy.
Well, Gus, you have a wonderful life. You have I'm really still amazed by the chemical engineer person going into public relations. What did you chose chemical engineering? Why? And then because that's so, I mean, you had to be really bright to do that, and I mean, obviously you are. And so, what attracted you to that?
What made me do that? Well, I went to Vol State for my first couple years of community college before I went to tech, and I had a chemistry class and an awesome chemistry professor named Dr. Snelling. He had worked for ExxonMobil for years. He had, I think, 35 years experience. And it was my first chemistry class, believe it or not. I did not take it in high school. I took ecology instead. We had the choice between the two. So I had this first general chemistry class, and I just loved it. On every single test, I would blow the curve for everybody else. I didn't mean to. I didn't want him to tell anybody, but it clicked and I did so well. And during my second semester, I talked some with my professor, and he told me, he said, if you really think you might want to do anything in the chemistry field, if you can handle the math, I would recommend that you look into chemical engineering. And so that planted the seed. And then my brother, who is also an engineer, said famous last words, "I'm not sure you can do it."
Oh,
You
that
know,
sealed the deal.
so I went to tech and ended up graduating summa cum laude in chemical engineering. And it was, I think the one or two B's that I got still really are get under my skin a little bit, because I really wanted to have a straight 4.0 when I graduated, but no one's perfect. And I loved it. I had a great experience at tech. And you know what that professor told me was, you can write your own ticket. If you are a female and chemical engineer and you prove that you're dedicated and that you are disciplined, you can do anything you want. And when I did go to hire, to interview with P&G, they specifically interviewed electrical, chemical, and mechanical engineers. And they were looking for engineers that also liked people, which immediately weeded out a lot of
99%.
that I was in class with. Because they wanted someone that had a problem-solving mentality.
That's you.
Could multitask, but also that valued relationships. And
Wow, that defines you.
yeah, I mean, I think back to my first couple roles at the plant. I was a systems engineer in our manufacturing department. So if there's one Pringles plant in North America in Jackson, Tennessee, and that's where I worked. And the two lines that I worked on, that's where all of the North American Pringles were made. We had some other lines across the plant that were for the Far East. But if you ate Pringles, anybody ate Pringles from the year 2005 to 2010, they were made on the line where I worked, which was really cool. But when I hired in, most of the people there, especially on my leadership team, had been there longer than I had been alive. And I was 23 years old going to work there. Some of those people had been there for 30 plus years. And I never went in with the idea that I knew more than they did because I had this degree. I told them, I said, I may know academically about heat exchangers, but you all know how to run a heat exchanger. You know how to maintenance a heat exchanger. And I'm here to make your jobs easier and support you. And I was so sad when I left. They were amazing. I had such a great experience there, getting to know some awesome people and just working together to really accomplish as much as we could. Our plant at the time was going through some auditing to make us one of the most renowned plants within P&G in the country. And so I was excited to be a part of that process as well.
I'm sure they loved you. I'm sure they all loved you.
For the most part, I had a pretty good reputation. There were always a few that, we butted heads, but they were mostly very sad to see me go. And I would not trade that experience for anything. It was
Wow.
fantastic.
Well, we're, as a board, happy to see you come on. You've had a lot of other work in the community, obviously, but everyone's excited about your arrival and the energy that you bring to the board. So
Well, thank you.
that's all we had time for today. And thank you so much for being on the program. I really appreciate it. I've learned a lot, and hopefully the others will too.
Great. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.